Welcome to 2 Minutes Tech, episode 4. In this episode, we're going to build a game called Collide using Scratch. To start off, you can sign yourself into Scratch. If you haven't already, you'll need to get onto the Scratch website, which is scratch.mit.edu. Once you're on there, you can click on Create. When you first create a project, it's a good idea to name it, and we will name it straight away. So we go up to the top here where it says Untitled. We will delete that and we'll put in COLLIDE, Collide, which is the name of the game we are creating. To get this game started, we're going to add some characters. We've already got the Scratch cat. We're going to move the Scratch cat over to the side here. And we're going to make the Scratch cat a little bit smaller by shrinking him down. In this area here where it says Sprite 1, we can rename this one Scratch. And we're going to make Scratch a little bit smaller by scaling his size down to 80. Now we're going to add a character. So we come down to this area. We click on where the little cat figure is, and the plus, and we want to go to choose a sprite, which is the little magnifying glass you can see there. The sprite we are looking for is called Gobo. It's one of the Creative Scratch sprites, so we can search for it up here and click on it. We're going to need 2 of these to start off with, so we're going to right click or double click on your trackpad and duplicate that sprite, and we're going to need to color these different colors. So let's choose Gobo 2 and go to costumes up the top here, top left hand side. We are going to color Gobo 2, choose a color. I think we'll go for like a pinky color, and then we'll get the paint fill bucket here, you can see, and we are going to fill him in each shape just by one click. Now we've got 2 Gobos, different colors. The other thing we want to do with these Gobos is resize them. We're going to make them significantly smaller. We're going to make them half the size. So half of 100 is 50. Let's see what that looks like. And we're going to click onto the Gobo 1, or just Gobo there. We're going to do the same. Go to size here, make that half of 100, which is 50 again. Now we've got 2 Gobos. Now we're ready to start adding code. So we click on the code tab. We'll start off with adding code to the Scratch cat. We're going to have 2 lots of code on the Scratch cat. One is going to put the Scratch cat in position, and is also going to set a score to 0. So to have a score, we will need a variable. But let's grab, firstly, the event block, which is when green flag is clicked, which we use to start our code off. And we will also grab a motion block, and we will set our character to the position, X, Y position. So that places our character on the left-hand side here and vertically in the center of the screen. About there is the starting point we want it to be. So my XY says negative 186X and minus 3Y. Now how that works, if I move Scratch, if Scratch turns out to be on this part of the screen, when I click the green flag, Scratch is going to go back to that starting point. The other thing we have to do is make a variable called score, so let's do that now. We come down to here, the code blocks, we click on this dark orange block, variable. We've already got one called my variable. We're going to make another one. Right, I'm just going to type in the word score, S-C-O-R-E, to make the variable score. And I'm going to say for all sprites, that's okay. Now I click OK. Now I have a score at the top here in my stage window. And I have set my variable to 0, which is what I want to do to the score variable. So I can drag this one over, click it in. Then I'm going to click the little down arrow and choose score. Now my cat sprite sets the score to 0. when I click the green flag and sets himself in position. What I need to do next is I need to figure out a way to get my cat to move. The way we're going to do that is we're going to move him via the mouse pointer. So firstly, I'm going to get another event block, which is the green flag. Secondly, I am going to click on a control block, which is going to make it repeat. You might be able to guess that will be the forever block. I'm going to drag that down and snap it in. The next thing is I'm going to use a block in the motion blocks, which says to point to go to something. So I'm going to drag it into here. We don't want it to go to a random position. If that happened, this is what would happen. You just go all over the place, go crazy. We want it to go to the mouse pointer. We've got some options here. So we're going to go mouse pointer. When we do that, I'll show you what happens on a full screen view. When we click the green flag, Scratch will follow our mouse pointer around. So we have a way of moving him around the stage, or the gaming area, if you like. That's all we have time for today. In the next episode, we're going to look at creating the rest of the code for the gobos and completing the game. Have fun creating your Collide game. You might like to use different characters for yours. Ka kite ana and scratch on.